Personal and Professional Practice Presentation by Emma Ward. Module Briefing. This week was all about preparing us for the module ahead. A task that was set this week was to reflect on ourselves and what we thought were some of our good skills, along with some questions about what we wanted to do in our future. I found the test slightly difficult as I lacked confidence in my skills and the fact that I was waiting until third year, or at least later this year, to decide what my future career plans were going to be. I came to the conclusion that I would love to continue my studies and potentially do a master's on VR and AR before going to a job. Graduate, career and employment. This week we'll learn important information on the different paths to get your foot in the door in the industry that can lead to better connections and even jobs, apprenticeships and internships. What stood out to me this week was the emphasis on connections and attitude and how they can help you overall. It isn't cut and dry when you get an interview that you do the interview and then you're hired. It's much more complex about connections and past experiences, even if it's just a recommendation saying how great you were to work with, although previous experience in the field will help you overall. Another thing was that everybody has a story on why and how they discovered their passion and curiosity for their industry, and that it can be impactful. It's authentic and most importantly personal, and it made me think about what my realization was. Presenting and pitching. This week we learnt about the basics of presenting and pitching. The best basics for having a good presentation in my opinion are body language. Having good posture and body language will make you seem more confident even if you aren't feeling it. Having a backup plan, such as extra notes. Preparing your voice so you don't suffer from voice cracks. Having water on hand so you have an organic way to stop and gather your thoughts. And afterwards reflecting on what you did for the next presentation. You might have to do it again, so it's better to be more prepared for next time. The fact that I found interesting was the fact that when an idea is rejected, it's often the presentation that doesn't hit the mark with the audience and not the idea itself. If I was to present a game, the difference between getting accepted or not might be my presentation and whether it was worth their time and if it interests them. Along with the presentation, presenting is a big factor. Being confident to talk about your work in a coherent and convincing way is another good skill that can get your audience engaged. There's no point speaking like you're talking to a child when in reality you're presenting to more important higher ups. Money, money, money. This week we went over finances such as the national minimum wage, living wage and average salaries, along with the pricing of current job offerings in the different design sectors. There was also a general breakdown of a freelancer's bills and payment, basically going over what freelancers should charge based on average pricing. More information we learnt about freelancing was the process of getting paid and how to protect yourself from those potentially wanting to scam you from your work. I don't know about the future, so I don't know if I'm going to be working for myself or a company, so these facts are good to know just in case. Marketing you. This week was about how to market yourself as you and not just your title. This includes presenting your skills and hobbies to create a personal branding. Presenting yourself includes social media platforms, and there is a difference between personal and professional accounts. As I said earlier, networking is extremely important to expand your career. This is something that is brought up a lot, but after going to talks with those in the gaming industry, it really made me think about all of the opportunities made just by talking to people at events. Portfolios. This lecture was going over what a portfolio is for our design sector and how you can present it. We went over the differences of academic and professional portfolios, such as what goes into the portfolio, the order, the length, and the pace. This was extremely helpful for this assessment's portfolio segment. Another thing I loved learning about this week is the fact that portfolios shouldn't be tailored to what other people tell you to put in them. They showcase your work and should be themed to what you want in a coherent manner. Placements, internships, and your first job. This week was one I was looking forward to. It was going over what is good practice for when looking and applying for placements, internships, and jobs. Finding a job or internship can be difficult, especially when there are others with more experience going for it. However, there are a multitude of tools and websites to get you some opportunities, such as LinkedIn and Indeed. CVs and cover letters are a must for applying to jobs. They quickly show your skill, experience, and prior educational jobs. This gives the employers a better understanding of what you can do and if you would be a good fit for their company. When applying for a job, it isn't guaranteed that you'll get it even if you thought you were a perfect fit for the role. Rejection is unfortunately inevitable. This was great to hear for me, as I am often worried about finding a job in the industry after I graduate, but knowing that rejection is common for the first time process, I feel a lot more confident.